Hey, what's going on, everyone? Hope everybody's doing good and healthy and staying safe. So, I read a tweet the other day, and it was from Chris Sims, or at least it was somebody quoting Chris Sims and Mike Floria, having Jimmy Garoppolo rated the 20th best quarterback in the NFL. And I wanted to get everybody's honest opinion about the situation. I'll be honest myself, I've flipped and flopped a couple times, and I've been called out by people. And I'm an emotional guy, so sometimes I react to what's happening now instead of kind of looking at the body of work. So there's two lines of thinking. There's the one line of thinking that he's just getting started and that his ceiling is high, and that he just finished his first full year as a starter and played relatively well outside of the turnovers, considering he was coming off a knee injury that took him out the whole previous year. And then there's the camp that thinks that the 49ers are a Super Bowl team and the only thing holding them back is Jimmy Garoppolo, and that his play in the bigger games this year, in the playoffs at least, were proof of that. You have something to go with on both of those points. I would say I'm somewhere in the middle, or maybe even more to the side of him, just getting his first full year under his belt as a starter. Because if you look at games like New Orleans, where he went throw for throw with Breeze, and you see what he's capable of in that type of game and that type of environment. Or you go to the Rams game where he made two huge third down throws that got us that victory. And you got the game against the Steelers with the last second touchdown pass to Dante Pettis, the last second touchdown pass against the Cardinals. And you see that the guy has a clutch gene. He's not a bum. Even Stephen A. Smith, as much as I hate him, he admits that Jimmy's not a bum, but he also doesn't think he's elite. And that's kind of where the argument comes in, because you can see that he has potential, but then in the playoffs, they barely used him. And some people were saying that's a sign that Shanahan doesn't trust him. And then there's the thought that he didn't have all his weapons last year, maybe, and he would have played even better. You got Jalen Hurd possibly coming back this year, and Trent Taylor. They're all working out right now, not league organized things, but, there's been some leaked pictures online, get you a little excited that maybe Jimmy just needs more weapons. I don't necessarily think that's it. It's like this. There is a finite window of opportunity to win a Super Bowl when you have a stacked team. And the Niners are in that window right now. And, it's unfortunate that Garoppolo missed that year that he could have used to get better, the year that he lost with his knee injury. And that, yes, next year would have been his coming out party, as far as kind of if you go by the Matt Ryan in Kyle's offense type of thinking. And then there's this whole other line of thinking of maybe just because of his contract, we're giving this guy just the most unbelievable amount of pressure to live up to. He played behind Tom Brady, and we all expect him to be Tom Brady, and no one will be. Just like there's no one, there was one Joe Montana, there's one Tom Brady. These guys, these Hall of Fame greats come by once in a, blue moon. Or sometimes twice in a blue moon. We've had a pretty good generation of quarterbacks, with Peyton, Breeze, Brady, and stuff like that. But, it's just not every day, and to have Garoppolo be expected to be that guy, seeing how he's a 49er and he's got the lineage of Montana and Young behind him. It's just unrealistic. But in the same breath, there is pressure, and it's time to win now. I do see them having a pretty decent window. They're going to lose pieces going forward. They're not going to be able to keep everybody, especially with this pending Kittle deal. They're going to have to cut a lot of salary. You don't want them to be like the Rams and just completely have to gut their whole roster. So, the pressure is on Jimmy this year to get it going. He played well last year, though, if you think about it. But, in the playoffs, he struggled. And, thankfully, they didn't need him in the 2 games. And he was doing all right in the Super Bowl. And then he kind of, I don't know what happened. It's really hard to say. But this year, going into this year, I'm going to go with the more positive mindset and say that he's just getting started and that his arrow's pointing up and that he's gonna get better. If they are healthy this year and they have everybody going and he struggles, then an argument could be made that change needs to happen. Because if your quarterback is what's holding you back and you have this stacked team, pass rush, receivers, tight end, linebackers, we're a pretty good team, talent-wise. Niners don't have a lot of holes. And so you don't want to be the guy that is holding that whole thing back. And I don't think he is, but, I have a Tony Romo type feeling when I watch games with Jimmy. I know he's really talented arm-wise. He can make things happen, but he also has a little bit of that risk-reward type play where he throws unnecessary interceptions or he tries to force throws that aren't there or, locks in on one guy. So hopefully that was just inexperience from last year. I have a lot of confidence with, if the current roster is as deep as it's going to be this year and Jimmy has more weapons, and Kittle has less pressure on him, and then you have to account for everybody, and then the run game can open up. I think the Niners could be very dangerous. But it just comes down to health, and it comes down to, squirrely things happening that don't go your way, like, weird endings to games and turnovers and just things that happen sometimes in the NFL. Teams are going to be gunning for them this year, and they're going to have to be ready. They say that the Niners only have 2 losable games on their schedule this year. You don't want anybody in that building to get that line of thinking because that's how people sneak up on you. So I'm really hoping Jimmy has a great year. I really think he will if they can all stay healthy. And the NFC is stacked, so the Niners are going to have to play their best ball again. It's not like the AFC where you got like 2 teams and everybody else is just a 500 team or less below. So we will see. But, I just wanted to put that Jimmy Garoppolo question out there to you guys and see what everybody thinks. I'm going to be on the more positive note this year. I know I flip-flopped and people called me out in the comments, so I'll take that. I'll take the bullet on that one because I have. But I'm going to be leaning more on the positive this year. Hopefully you guys have a differing opinion or the same opinion, whatever. Let me know down in the comments, and I'll talk to everybody later. Oh, and one more thing. Don't mind the lawnmower noise in the background. It's summertime, so, the lawn needs to get cut. So, all right, everybody. Take care, stay healthy, and I'll talk to everyone later. See ya.